Okay, we're gonna be going over some Sentinels versus 100 Thieves gameplay. And specifically in this gameplay, we're gonna be going over what alt planning looks like in the highest form of Marvel Rivals. And as we do this, my goal is to get you guys more comfortable and aware of how this process looks um, in game. And one thing to keep in mind, these guys that are playing at the highest levels, this is one thing that sets a lot of these teams apart at the highest levels. And once we go over it, you'll kind of see why Sentinels is cream of the crop right now when it comes to the game, and how detailed they are and accurate they are with their ult tracking and their ult fight planning. And also, it doesn't happen overnight. So one after the VOD's done, I encourage you guys to keep practicing these concepts and obviously not try not to forget them and incorporate them into scrims, into comp. It's going to be a lifelong battle, basically. So first thing first concept or the kind of principles of alt planning is we need to recognize what the certain situations are when we look at our alt economy in the game. So obviously everybody knows what alt tracking is, yes?
Doesn't do.
Yeah.
Okay, need to turn this down. Tell me if this is too loud as well. I am okay.
Yeah.
All right. So obviously everybody knows what alt tracking is, but I'm going to explain to you guys what the process needs to be after the alt tracking happens. After we call out which alts are up on the other team side and which alts are up on our side. So the first thing, if we look at this example, I'm just going to go over this example first to kind of give you guys a example, kind of a practice example on how this kind of goes, is we're going to look at this. We're going to be, throughout this VOD, we're going to be pretending that we're Sentinels because we're just cracked out and we're playing against 100 Thieves right now. So for every scenario, we're going to look at what alts we have and then look at what alts they have, assuming we have perfect alt tracking, and then kind of go from there. So basically, the three guidelines are, what do we do when we're down in alt economy? So for example, if we have one alt and the other team has two or three. The thing is, we need to even the odds. How do we even the odds? There's a few choices, few options we have. So the first one is wait for our alts. If we don't have the ultimates, let's wait for one or two to even the score so that we can go in confidently and actually have a fight for that fight. Second one is kite one of theirs, so make them waste one. Now we're even odds. Third one is go early and kill one of their alts before it's used to cancel out that ultimate for that fight, which also negates that ult and gives us an even odd. Does that kind of make sense for you guys? Or do you guys have any questions on that? Or any opinions?
I just kind of want to clarify.
Yeah.
So for the wait for our ults thing,
Mm-hmm.
that's like that's just playing a defensive position and farming them, right?
So if we're waiting for our alts?
Yeah, that's when we know they're up, and then we
Yeah,
just like
so say we're looking to retake um for this example, let's say we're 100 Thieves. Don't look at the alt economy or whatnot, just the map position. Say we're looking to recontest, and say, for example, Sentinels have 3 alts and we have 1, like Harvey
yeah,
does here, actually. The option of waiting for our alts, say we're like 80 on Luna, 80 on Emma, our plan is to hold, like, not commit as soon as we all can physically make it to the kill box, right? Because if we do that, then we're going to get cooked because people aren't going to have ultimates in time. So waiting for ults means, hey, we're going to play it slow. Don't fully engage. Tanks, hold your corners. don't enter the kill box until we have our alts. Does that make sense? Does that clarify things?
Yeah.
Um, Anybody else have any questions on those three? Or it'll make more sense once we
And
get into the examples.
um
Yeah, go ahead.
and where it says kite one of their ults, that's um I feel like that would usually be like when they initiate with the support ult, but that also can apply to like strange ult or something like that.
Yeah, so
But
that one's pretty specific. Honestly, all three of these have pros and cons, right? So I'll kind of get into what situation is best for each of them once I go into these fights, and I'll get you guys to brainstorm ideas based off what situation we're in for each fight from the Sentinel's perspective. So I'll maybe hold off on that until maybe later on if it doesn't get resolved, that kind of question. Just because I
yeah.
don't want this to be too long for you guys. Okay, then the second scenario or situation is when we're up in alt economy. So when we're up in alt economy, we have two choices. There's only two choices. We can either wait for the other team to use first, which means we will be the team that alts last. So say we have 4, they have 3. If we have a superior position, say we have control of the point, once again, and we have great positioning, we don't need to force something first if they're looking to use it theirs first. If they end up using ultimate first, then we just win. We should know that, recognize that. This one is, and then the second option is we either can go early to force their hand. So what that looks like is, say we have 4 ultimates, they have 3. We know that. So we decide to pop, say, our Psylocke ult right as soon as they walk through the kill box to force them to use what they have. And that is almost the exact same scenario. We're going to trade alt for alt for alt for alt and end up being the last one to use. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
The only issue with the first choice is that if we wait too long, we risk them building their ultimates before the fight starts, which cancels our advantage. So that one is a very like specific scenario where we're confident that they're not gonna even the score by building an ultimate before they need to use. So an example for that is, say we have 4 ultimates and they have 2, and they need to touch the point. They're probably going to use an ult to touch the point, trying to recontest, if that makes sense. So it's very unique. And then lastly, even. When we're even, we need to come up with a plan that gives us an advantage. So that could either be using the map, could be using alt counters. So like say they have Iron Man ult out of the 3 that they have, and we have 3, and one of our 3 is Mag ult. We could just cancel those 2 out. That gives us a 2-2 split. Another example could be like a Groot Bucky, something that can kill through a support ultimate, things like that. And then another way would be like the Art of Surprise. We'd pull a crazy play and have like 2 DPS flank, or something not too risky, or we can kite or wait to create an advantage, like almost in the when we're down an ultimate. But yeah, does that roughly make sense to you guys?
Yeah, I'm following.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so we're gonna get into the first fight then, and here I'm gonna kind of show you what I want to see, and I might get 2 or 3 of you guys to do this on your own after I do it from a next fight. But we're gonna take a look at the alt economy here, and we're gonna pretend that we are Sentinels playing against 100 Thieves and looking to plan our alt plan for this fight. So looking in here, we have control of the point. Sentinels has control of the point, and 100 Thieves is looking to rotate to point right now. So here, this is when we should be making our fight plan. So if we look, we have for alts, I'm only going to count anything 80% or higher to mean that the alt is in play. That means it counts. Just for the as a guideline for this VOD today. So if we count for Sentinels, we have 1, 2, 3, 4 alts. 100 Thieves has 1, 2, maybe 3 because that's pretty close to 80, but they're really close to these two. So what does that mean for us? We have more, so we are up in alts. We are up in alts, so what are our choices? We can either wait for them to use first and match, or we can go early to force their hand. What do you guys think is the better option in this scenario? Should we wait for them to use an ultimate first? Is that pretty likely, or should we go early to force them to use one of theirs?
Go early.
Yeah.
Is that Aiden?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Why should we go early? Why do you say that?
Like, let's say we use the Psylocke ult, and then they're forced to use the Cloak ult, then they're left with no other healer ults for the Iron Man or anything else.
100%. That is
I was
exactly what I came up with too, but Crave, go ahead.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is, if they're ult tracking properly,
Yeah.
then hopefully they want to engage before Luna gets hers, so they can maybe force Cloakle early, and not only can they force Cloakle early, but they have a counter ult for it with the Iron Man, and if they can counter ult it, I think it's worth noting counter ulting is always much more valuable than matching the support ult.
Yeah, I agree.
And
yeah, sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
I was just gonna say if Sentinels can manage to make them use Cloak ult and not use any Luna ult, that would be big for them.
100%. One thing to note too is support ults are a little bit of a golden child, and we're going to kind of get into the order of what our alt plan should look like once we go through one more example maybe, and you guys will get a better idea of how natural the alt order will be, because we're never going to pop support ults first, right? So that leaves us with either we pop Psylocke ult or Iron Man ult first, right? Which one between these two alts is easier to open with?
Psylocke,
Why is that?
because she can't be damaged in her ult.
100%. Iron Man's ult is too risky to open with without anything happening. Boom. Simple, right? So really quickly, what would happen if we decided to wait for them to use first and match? Why is that not as favorable for us if we decide to do that option?
Because everything that's at 70 right now, they would have time to build.
100%. 100%. Yeah, and then it would be even and maybe even more in their favor because these two alts take a pretty long time to build and they're lower. So I'm going to hit play and we're going to see if this happens. So our plan is to open with Psylocke ult, force their Cloak ult first, and then go from there because we're still going to have 3 ults. Maybe potentially looking for an Iron Man counter for the Luna once she makes it up or uses it. But that should be a 2 ult fight to 1 on paper, right? So I'm going to play it.
Now Delena's on that flank. He found one. Wasn't enough to keep it going in. This is what we're talking about. This is what Rymazing was mentioning with Nectar, right? Nectar's on the flank, ready to go for those dives. Rymazing then pops his E, aka his overcharge, and then just has the follow-up damage onto a backline, so they're able to eliminate them without any of those crystals. So that target of the Loki ban as well is disrupting the back.
Yeah.
What do you guys see here?
They're probably trying to get Cloakle out here, I imagine.
Yeah, I'm just gonna pause it
I don't
when
know if they
any
will.
alts get used, and we're gonna say, was this good or was this a bad decision?
Yeah, this was good.
I think so too. All right,
Yeah.
I'm gonna keep playing till
I'm
another alt.
also
Yeah.
next few questions I'm not answering no more. Somebody else can.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good.
Backline of 100 Thieves right now.
They baited out cloak ult.
Yep.
And here we go, Nectar with the Cutterfly. Not able.
Literally everything
That
is
was
lining up, right? But what
yeah.
went wrong here for them?
Eliminate them
For
without
Sentinels.
any of those crystals. So that target of the Loki ban as well is disrupting the backline of 100 Thieves right now.
The counter ult
'Cause-
didn't work.
They also used 3 ults for 1.
Oh yeah, that too.
This is where the alt planning is very important, right? Because all that they have to do, all Sentinels has to do here is stay alive and execute the plan. The tanks, this is why it's very important for every single person on the team to understand what the plan is, right? Because they do everything perfectly. They bait out the cloak ult. That should just mean free win, right? But Crimzo gets stuck. I'm assuming they target banned him in this series, so I don't think he's as comfortable in the thing. But I'm not going to use that as an excuse for him. But he can't be dying here, even when like there's no ults been used on the board. I actually don't know what ends up killing him, but I think he just gets caught out. Maybe the rest of his team is aware of what's going on, and he's not. But that really screws up their plan. But I'll keep playing it a little bit here. So that triggers Kurova to pop Luna ult. And then Rymazing also looks for a counter on the cloak.
Not able to land much, and we see TTK out of Crimzo. SJP now on a Rymazing, and that is pretty much a hit scan. It is a hit scan in their own right. SJP there on a Rymazing with nice pick. Terra trying to follow up here with the Kraken impact. Not able to get much just yet. He's going to try to get this pull, and there we go again. TTK right. And we see TTK right now.
So essentially, Crimzo kind of fucked up this fight here by dying early, but then also I would like to blame Rymazing as well for using his ult so early. The plan shouldn't have been to cancel the cloak ult because they just win the fight if they pop this Luna ult.
It would have been
and
more
match.
plausible if they had a mag bubble or
Yeah,
something,
exactly. But yeah, he kind of rushed it. Maybe he panicked because Crimzo died, but literally they're up ultimates. They need to just pop Kurova ult, live, and then go from there. But the fact that they're down Crimzo, it's pretty much a pretty tough fight to win now. Maybe he went for a hero play. But I want you guys to see, are there any supports in this call right now? Yes, there are. I want you guys to see how our Mori is very selfish with their ult and already recognizes that they lose the fight and doesn't pop hers to save their team from TTK's Emma ult here. Boom, they're already down 2. They have Luna ult up. Even though they have nothing, Aramori knows that this fight is lost, and she doesn't pop her Luna ult. They just let them use their ults, fix the economy a bit. Any questions with that fight?
Not really.
Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is an example of how you can lose without following or knowing the plan in an up fight. So they were up. If they executed it properly, they would have won the fight, but unfortunately Crimzo died. So, okay, next fight. 45, 43. Good enough. All right, let's look. The hell? The helly? All right, let's take a look. So, Sentinels, we've got 1, 2, 3 ultimates on the board. 100 Thieves, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 ultimates on the board. So, what does that mean for our ult economy or our plan?
We're even right now.
Not quite.
Or
We're down 1. So we have 3.
yeah.
They have 4. So if we're down, what are our options? We need to either wait for our ults. That's the number 1 option, or not. These options aren't in order of what's best to do. So wait for our ults. Do you guys think it's a good idea to wait for our ults? How do we wait for our ults? in this situation?
By playing safe, but I think that um what their plan will be is to Loki ult early to give their Luna time to build. I think this is gonna be a double support ult fight. And Thing looks like he's about to ult here too, or like he's thinking about it.
Yeah, he's thinking about it. I So if we end up waiting, we could maybe build Psylocke and maybe build Luna, which would give us 5 ults, and they would have still 4, I think. So that could be an option. But something to also to note for this plan is that does take some of your time off the clock. So that's something to keep in mind with that option is, do we have time to kill, and is it worth wasting some of that time because the other team has control of the point right now, right?
Yeah. I feel like 100 Thieves is gonna double support ult to bring it to 99.
Yeah, we'll see. And then kite one of theirs. That's another option. So Hazel, do you think we can kite something, one of these alts that they have right now? So they have Groot alt, they have Luna alt, they have Cloak alt, and they have Bucky alt.
We could kite Bucky.
When do you think he would alt in this scenario? What do you think a Bucky's looking for his alt? What times? Or what scenarios?
They're all like bunched up together, a bunch of clones out. They already used runes, and probably gonna look to combo with runes.
Yes. The last part, I like that. Combo looks probably going to look to combo with Groot. So if that's the case, it's pretty hard to kite a Groot alt. Um, that one's a pretty tough alt to kite. Luna alt, pretty tough ult to kite, especially at this level. They're not going to just use it to walk. They're going to use it reactively. Same with kind of cloak alt. It's going to be pretty hard to bait that out without them needing it for the sustain. And then also the Bucky, I personally don't see him using it unless there's someone low or there's clones that he could reset off of that they can take advantage. So I'm assuming their plan's probably going to be to combo here. And then the last option is go early and kill one of their ults before it's used. So who else is in this go? Aiden, I want you to give me an example of how we can kill one of these ultimates before it gets used with what we have or our cooldowns that we have.
I'd say we use the Thing ult, which would immobilize their healer ults and try to take advantage of it and take out one of their healers at least.
Yeah, I like that. Immobilize. So you mean just kill kill a support through one of the support ults?
I think he means Thing ult them before they can
Yeah.
use it.
Yeah, for sure. That one's a little harder to set up, especially with the Luna.
It would be easier to do on Cloak right now with her being at 90, but Luna would be really hard.
Yeah. I think that line of thinking is still A plus. So I think the cloak would probably be easier to get that off on, since she doesn't have it right now. But also like the casting's a little different with that. But I like that plan. So what do we think is the best for this situation? Should we wait for our ults? Should we go early? Or should we look to...
I think we need to force Luna out as fast as possible here. And even though Iron Man does counter it, I don't think he needs to be countering either support ult necessarily. I think that we should force Luna as fast as possible and then probably just match it, honestly.
Yeah, okay. So for my perspective, I think kiting is not an option with the alts that they have right now, and waiting doesn't fully guarantee us the fight win, especially with the time on the clock. There's probably going to be one more fight after this if we do end up waiting, or maybe even one fight with a TP, because this fight's going to take a while. But so I think we should go early. With the ultimates we have, what do you think the order should be? Hazel, what do you think we should look to do if we're looking to go early and cancel one of these with the thing alt? What do you think that looks like? Or with what we have? It doesn't have to be the thing alt first.
With what we have.
So with thing alt, Loki clone or Loki alt, and with Iron Man alt.
Yeah, I think we singles first. Try and get the cloak before they can have their ult off.
Yeah. All right. I think that's a good plan. Let's see what Sentinels do. And once again, you guys can kind of notice from what we have up, we're opening with what's the easiest to open with. We already know Iron Man is almost impossible to open with. Same with our support ults. We don't want to be walking with that. We need to be saving that to counter ultimates. But yeah, I'm just going to play it and let's see what happens.
So you can stay on the low ground and have that all pop quickly. Yeah, definitely possible. Hook coming out, misses for Terra, but ult still available for Sentinels. Ready to go on that dive from Nectar. Uses that team up with that Emma and just disrupts this back. Backline force. Here comes a pulse.
Good try, I guess.
So they did decide to go early and try to kill somebody with their ultimate. And I'll play it a little bit slower. I'll pause it. But they went a different route using cooldowns. I mean, either way, either route is fine, as long as we're doing something. But this is why we're doing the VOD, right? So I want you to see how crazy this plan is from them. They decide to try to 3-2-1 an Emma grab on the Groot, combined with a Iron Man ult on the Groot to get rid of that ult, to give them the advantage. The execution was pretty good, but I think Rai decided to shoot the Emma based off of the LOS. You can see the Emma grab right here. This was premeditated. There's a reason why he's hiding on this side of the map so that he doesn't get shot.
Yeah.
TTK tries to shield the Luna from that ultimate. But this is just next level like team fight planning, and I don't expect us to be doing this right away, but we need to at least be planning our ultimates right before the fight. So he, based off the LOS, I think he just thought this was a better target. So he goes for that. They end up getting a pick on Emma. Now, in response to this Iron Man ult, they decide to pop Luna ult to kind of counter, maybe negate the burst effect on TTK. But because this plan was pretty nice, the rest of the team decided to focus TTK. As you see, that Nectar was the one who killed TTK here, right? And now we match. Aramori does a great job of matching the Luna ult. So now let's look at the ult economy. We have 1, 2, 3 versus 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, sorry. The Groot doesn't count. It's 3-3. Or, sorry, Eva's dead. So it's still 4-3. So it was a good try. But what do you think should happen next based off of this alt fight that's going on? We're still down. We're still down ultimate. What do we need to do here? The fight's already started. There's only one option.
Luna has to get... My bad, go ahead.
I don't know, I was just saying we have to commit since it's last fight. So we need to use deals.
Yeah, that's one thing, but right now we have 3 ultimates on our side and they have 4 ultimates on their side that are still able to be used. So at this option, we're down. Wait for ults. We can't wait for ults during a fight. Kite one of theirs. Yeah, but we already discussed it's going to be pretty hard to kite one of their alts, especially mid-fight, but just with the alts that they have. So we have to try to kill one of their alts again before it's used, or else we just lose this fight if they
Yeah,
cycle properly, right?
what I
So,
was gonna say is
yeah,
Kurova needs to build his Lunal for Groot and Bucky, but that's gonna be hard to do because they're mid-fight.
yeah,
So Crimzo and Nectar need to look to ult one of them maybe, so they can't get it off.
alt who?
Uh, they're probably gonna have a lot better of a time ulting Bucky than Groot.
Yeah, honestly, any of the
So I'd
squishies
say
that
him.
have alt,
Yeah.
right? So either Cloak or Bucky. Doesn't matter, one of them. But we need to kill one of these two, essentially, in the next, like, 3-4 seconds, or else we lose this fight. So let's see what happens.
Does a ton of damage, and that's worth right there. That is a picket on TTK due to the raw damage there from the pull.
Did you guys see that? Beautiful play.
That team up with that Emma and just disrupts this backline force. Here comes a pulse. Does a ton of damage, and that's worth right there. That is a picket on TTK due to the raw damage there from the pulse, and there goes a clobbering. Nectar finds two.
Did he Bucky ult to avoid the Thingle? Is that what he did?
I think so, which was pretty L, I think.
I kind of think so too.
But even more impressive by Sentinels, they use Thing ult, like Aiden suggested. Obviously, the order was flipped a little bit because it's probably a little harder to get away with that Thing ult to start the fight. In that sense, to kill Harvey. But they look for Clobber on Harvey while he's in Luna ult. He's not suspecting it. They switch to damage boost. Yeah, they know he has ult, and look at the, I want you guys to look at the HP bars on everyone else on 100 Thieves when I play this, when he gets clobbered. Oh, I don't know.
Tell they're all targeting just him.
Yeah, it just went so far back, I think.
Because they know they have to burn him through Lunal, so if they don't,
yeah, so I want you guys to look at the health bars on everyone else other than Harvey right now.
Nobody got touched except for him in that Thingle.
But that's what's going to win them the fight here.
And Bucky wasted ult.
And this will force a portal into TTK is prepping here on Doctor Strange. Yeah, setting that up, ready to go back in his fight. They're able to sustain it.
And that's just fight win.
They originally were down two, like, they negated 2 ults off of the board when they were down.
Yep.
Cloak and Bucky.
So yeah, they were down and they decided to try to kill one of their alts before it comes online / wait for alts. So the first attempt was the Iron Man with the Groot. You gotta kind of get creative when you're down alts, right? So they get creative. They try to get the Groot with this combo to negate his ult. It doesn't work out, which means they don't just keep fighting and just popping ults for whatever. No, they didn't succeed in this plan to kill one of their alts. They need to kill another alt. So they, as a team, on the fly, boom, destroy that guy. Does that kind of make sense? Anybody have questions or opinions they want to share about that?
No, yeah, that makes sense. I was thinking about that earlier when they had Thingle on the board. Like, I see a lot of things ult in a support ultimate on purpose, because that's when everybody is stacked.
Yeah.
But things can be bursted out.
Yeah,
when
and
stunned like that. So.
Yeah. And if like tanks in game, if we're ever looking for anything like this, while like our Luna ult is up, let's take advantage of that damage boost that we can do just to obviously from situation to situation. But okay, next fight, let's look at the ult economy again. We've got 1, 2 ultimates. 100 Thieves have 1, 2 ultimates. What does that mean? It means we're even, right? So we have to come up with a plan that gives us the advantage. Alt counters, the art of surprise, etc. Kite one of their ultimates and then push, or and wait for one of our alts to come out in line to come up or to give us the advantage. So here, already looking at our ultimates here, waiting is not an option with our ult charge here. These guys are not getting ult in this next fight, right? Or when it starts. So that can't be a plan, right? Kiting, they have thing ult and cloak ult. Kiting could be an option. We could kite the cloak ult or the thing ult, whatever. And countering, we don't really have a counter for an ultimate here. This ult doesn't counter thing or cloak ult, so it looks like we have to wait for them to use first, essentially, and then punish after, because they're also not coming up on any ult either. So I'm gonna play the video and see if this is what happens.
They're on, waiting for everybody to respawn again, Chip. Oh, this goes early. Here comes the portal early. Korova on a Terra, Nectar on SJP, and they won't have numbers.
Something I also mentioned earlier, in last fight situations, the team trying to contest is usually gonna have to ult first. So waiting is already like probably gonna be the best option in this situation. But we already decided that, or I already decided that that was the best situation based off of our other options not looking that great. But literally here, all we need to do is just ult last and we win. All right.
I don't think it's a little bit too early, in my opinion, here, as Harvey is going to initiate. That is wise.
So Luna ult comes out in response. What do you guys think of that Luna ult?
I don't know. Maybe to nitpick, they maybe could have staggered it a little more. I didn't see anybody like critical, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that. It might just be to make sure they don't flip point or something, but I think it was a tad early as well. But on paper, theirs lasts longer, which means they should win the fight.
Yeah.
And this being up right now means that Vinny can't get any value with his Groot ult. And by the time this cloak ult is done, Nectar's probably going to find some value with his ultimate.
Yeah, that, and maybe he doesn't want to get frozen because all of his team is going down, so there's a lot of definite mind games here. Right, Amazing over the high ground. Speaking of mind games, ready to go with the Giant Pulse. Tacky finds Harvey early. Nice carbon crush there, followed up with a few punches. Nectar going to try to find a pick, not able to do so. Techie going to walk directly at the back line there. Oh, what a good play there to find value. You do not care about overcommitting. You want this match.
So even in high-level games like this, some plans don't go how they should, right? Based off of certain things, different mechanics, people whiffing, people being put under pressure. But basically here, Sentinels just wins due to ult economy purely. But I think something to note here by 100 Thieves that was pretty smart. They are also aware that the Nectar has Psylocke ult to kind of wipe them right now. If they don't have anything to match this, they have nothing. So Deletta and Terra both swap to characters that Psylocke can't use her ultimate on, which just fully nullifies it. That's some just crazy shit that I just wanted you guys to see.
I didn't even realize that's why they were doing that.
Which is pretty wild. Yeah, so and you can kind of see Nectar gets no one with his ultimate. And then Vinny just ends up missing his ult. He just whiffs it. I think he hits a shield or something. Yep. And Rai built his ult so fucking fast, it's not even funny. This guy was at 60, like right when they portaled.
Rai despises Iron Mantle in
But yeah, he whiffs. Look at this, like, no one. That's crazy that they're aware of that, like at that level. But yeah, that's it for the first map. Okay, so for map 2, I'm going to get you guys to do this. And I'm going to start with Hazel. So, Hazel. Assuming we're Team Sentinels, Looking at the alt economy, we have 2 ultimates. The other team has 1 ultimate. That means we are up ultimates. Our options are wait or go early. So Hazel, what do you think is the best option here for this situation? Do we wait or do we look to go early?
I think we go early.
Okay, so what could we go early with? Thing alt or copy?
Thing alt for sure.
All right, if we use thing alt first, what's the response from 100 Thieves?
Probably the Ultron, and they'll try and kite it.
Yep, probably the Ultron. Let's say that the thing alt hits, assuming like properly, and this is a perfect world. They're gonna use Ultron alt, and then what do we respond with?
I think we just kite it.
Just kite the Ultron alt?
Yeah.
How easy would it be to kite the Ultron alt if we're going in to use our thing alt first?
Um,
Or what do you think? Like, do you think it's doable?
it's doable, but since he doesn't have a shield and Emma's, like he can just shoot past it, it's gonna be hard for him to not take a lot of damage.
Yeah, I think it's going to be hard to try to disengage after fully committing with the thing alt and then having them pop the Ultron alt. So, like, worst case scenario, obviously, it's a good trade, 2-for-1, but I think we match if that's our plan to use thing alt early, right? Um, what do you think could be another option?
Um, using lamps for it.
Yeah?
Oh, my bad. Was I not supposed to answer?
No, that's fine. I think, yeah. We're just going to focus on the ultimates, though, so I think
The
basically,
Loki ult then is coming up too, but I
yeah.
think a Loki ult for Ultron ult is pretty bad, especially when they're on trip. Which is why I said the lamp. So yeah, kite if we can.
So if we use thing alt first, and then they use Ultron alt, and then we kite, how do we win the fight after that? All we have is Loki alt, and they'll probably be coming up on Fire alt. You see how that turns into almost a stalemate?
Yeah, but because even them being down the Ultron, they still have the 2 healers.
Let me ask you this:
If
why would it be a waste to use Loki for Ultron in this scenario if we use 2 alts for 1 for the point?
not only is it 2 ults for 1, but Ultron just gets his back faster, and Loki's just lasts twice as long.
I agree, but my issue is they're 60% on Invis, almost 60 on Emma, 60% on this ult.
And they'll need the Loki ult for that.
We lose the next fight regardless, I think. Unless we come up with a good plan, right?
Unless they maybe
We're,
like kill
yeah, we
their
need to just be thinking fight to fight. If we think, oh, this ult's a waste for that ult, just think of it as numbers almost. It's one
Right.
support ult for one support ult. Plus 1 to win the fight. Do you see a world where they would be using this first before we use either of our ults? Do you think that's a win condition for them to use this ult first to try to kill us? before we use ult?
I think it'd be good for them to force our ults early.
Yeah. But I mean, and then what I'm trying to say is that just basically forces us into the same dilemma, right? If they use this
Right.
first, we have to respond with something if we're not ready to kite. If that's not our plan, because we're up 2 ultimates, why should we kite? It doesn't really make sense. But also, if they do pop this first, we're probably gonna need to use Loki ult to pop blast. That could be a better fight plan, but I just don't see them popping this first.
Yeah.
If they're tracking properly, right? It doesn't make sense for them. But yeah, I think the first plan was pop this first, then they Ultron ult, and then we Loki clone to win the fight. And then I'm just gonna hit play, and we'll see what Sentinels end up doing here.
We're going to get to see Terra in the sky and see how it fares here against the Ultra or the Iron Man. But there will be an Ultron pocket, which makes it even more deadly.
Absolutely. 2 people in the sky is going to be terrifying to deal with. Extermination coming out from Delena. Early ult built Nectar. Huge focus right now. Can't find him.
So why do you think Delena pops the Ultron ult early here? What is he looking to do with his Ultron ult?
And see how it fares here against the Ultra or the Iron Man.
It looked like he was trying to force that Loki ult, and then after that, he was just trying to get picked.
Absolutely. 2 people in the sky is going to be terrifying.
It looks like he's looking for a straight pick to give them an advantage.
Oh, did he pop it right there? He didn't even force the Luna ult?
Nope, he was looking at Nectar the whole time. He was trying to
That's crazy.
pull
That's
something
very
crazy.
ambitious.
Yeah, but that's the situation they're in. They know they're going to lose this fight if they just, if they wait for them to use clobbering time and then uses the counter, then the Loki uses ult and they lose. If they use Ultron ult into the team first to force Luna and then Luna pops, they lose to Crimso's ult after. Here, he's looking for his team is down. They need to do something crazy to even the odds, right? As we
Yeah,
say.
he's trying to make a third scenario.
Yeah, exactly. He is looking for this pick on Nectar. Nectar's not even anywhere close to this Luna ult to get saved. So it's a good idea. It just didn't get executed properly. But I want you to also care that this is okay. Because they know they have the better ult advantage, right? And it ends up saving Nectar here. He gets out barely, but it's a match. And then clobbering time comes in, and it gets Delena killed, basically. His play didn't work out. Had great heads-up play by Kurova to spot that and take care of that. And that basically just wins them the fight. They just end up cleaning up. All right, who else is in this call? Neon, my boy. You're going to be going next.
Turn on that mic, boy.
That mic, boy. All right, I'm going to pause it right here. We're on Team Sentinels. We have 1, 2, 3 ultimates. 100 Thieves has 1, 2, 3. Let's call it 4 ultimates because Hardy's at 81.
I got you, Neon. He's typing in team chat.
Oh, okay. So we're down ults. Our options are we can either wait for our ults, kite one of theirs, or go early and kill one of their ults before it's used. So option number 1. Wait for our ults. Do we have any ults coming up here? Or sorry, I guess Neon. What do you think is the best option in this situation? Do we wait for our ults? Do we go early and try to kill one of their ultimates? Or do we
He
kite
says
one
I
of
think
theirs?
he says I think we go with Psy, but not for a kill. Maybe to force. So I think he wants to bait Invis with Psy early.
Okay, I like that. We use Psy first. They use
Yeah,
Invis to match. And then what do we do? So now it's 1, 2, 3 to 1, 2. So if we open with Psy, basically our only options here are to try to get a kill to negate one of these ultimates, or we wait to even the odds with something, but we don't have anything to wait for, or we kite one of their ultimates. So it's either we kite or we kill somebody, like right now. That's our only option. We can't use an ultimate unless we get a kill with it, basically, or looking to get a kill with it. If that's what you meant, like with the Psy ult, then I think that's a good plan.
yeah. He says Sile early to force Invisible off of point, and then we easy kite.
Okay, so we use side force and then kite what though? Kite the invis ult or kite something else?
He said the Invis.
So it's an okay plan, but what that does is it doesn't do anything for our ult economy. So if we use one, they use one, we have two, they have three still. One, two, three. So if you want to kite, we don't need to use the Psylocke ult. We can just look to kite whatever they use first. It's probably going to be Emma or Thing. But if we want to use Psy, we need to get a kill on Harvey or SJP. Um, so cook something for me. That's either we kill Harvey or SJP with the Psylocke ult or whatever. Any one of the alts we have. Or which alts do we kite first? Because they're not going to pop the support alts. Even if they do, we already are ready to kite. So which option do you want to do here? Does that kind of make sense for everyone? If
Yeah, yeah. He said if they pop first, we definitely kite Emma ult. I think he means we force the Invis ult, but we kite the Emma ult.
okay, okay, yeah, that
And
could
then
work too.
he says, aren't we up support ults if we do that? We'll have the Cloak and Luna will be able to match, but Invis and Loki will still not have theirs.
Yeah, the problem is they have two right now and we have one. So if we trade an alt for a support alt, we still are down, or we're even on support alts, but they have more offensive alts to be.
Yeah, he was saying that if we force Invis with Sile, does it even the support ult economy?
It does even
And
the support alt economy, but it doesn't balance the team alt economy
okay, yeah, that's a good explanation.
because the team alt economy is what matters. Because if we force Invis alt with Psylocke alt, great. They don't have Invis alt anymore, but we still have support alt. They still have support alt, so those are gone. Just cancel those out. But now what do we have? We have Iron Man ult, and they have Thing and M ult to counter us with. So if that's the case, then after all that happens, they're gonna look to just M ult our Iron Man before he ults if they're smart, and then they're probably gonna kill somebody because we don't have a support ult to match or whatever if they decide to match, and then they just pop this and win.
He
Is that
said, yeah, is this similar to that other fight where it's kind of just lost unless they pull out a third scenario?
Yes, yes, it's exactly like that fight
Okay,
where they tried
that's
to
what
kill the
Neon
Groot.
said.
Yes, yes, Neon. It's exactly like that fight where they tried to get the Groot with the Iron Man ult, and they needed to cancel that out. So those are our only options when we're down. Ultimates in the economy. We can't use alts to force alts because we don't have the alts to keep forcing them, if that makes sense. If we use this to force this, then boom, that's counteracted. If we use this to force this and it doesn't hit, just imagine, just for the sake of practice, that those get canceled out again. And then we use Kurova ult to cancel out this. That's another one canceled out. So they still have one more left, and we don't have anything to answer with it. So in that situation, that's why it's either we need to get rid of one of these alts, like delete it from the game by killing them, which is probably going to be a squishy. So we're going to probably look for Harvey or SJP before they can get their ult off. And it doesn't have to be us using an ultimate to make that happen. It could just be like Nectar and Rye taking crazy flank on one of these two, but it's probably going to be easier to execute with the ultimate. But that's all we